Hi everybody, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Thursday, December 5th, 2019. We start today with breaking news from our investigative reporter Rachel Polanski. This is a 3 News exclusive story. A Strongsville priest has been arrested in connection with a child pornography case. Agents with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force searched a Strongsville church Thursday before arresting a Catholic priest on child pornography charges, a source confirmed to 3 News. Agents were seen patting down and handcuffing Reverend Bob McWilliams while students at St. Joseph Catholic Church on Pearl Road played outside during recess, apparently unaware of what was happening nearby. The investigation started with allegations the priest had sent an inappropriate text to a teenager at St. Helen's Church in Newberry, where McWilliams worked with the church's youth program. The text demanded the teen provide self-made nude images, according to our source. The source told 3 News that a substantial amount of child pornographic images were found and connected to the priest during the search at the St. Joseph Church rectory, where the priest lived and worked as a parochial vicar. McWilliams was ordained as a priest in 2017. A spokesperson for the Cleveland Diocese said that they were aware of the search at St. Joseph, but otherwise did not immediately comment. Charges have yet to be announced, and Rachel Polanski will have more for us at 6 p.m. in the What Matters Most broadcast. All right, now we'll move on to our top headlines, trending topics, and what we're working on for you right now ahead of our 6 p.m. What Matters Most, 7 p.m. Front Row, and 11 p.m. What's Next TV shows. Right off the top, we'll let you know about Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi calling for the Judiciary Committee to draft articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump. Then we'll take a look at the future of Odell Beckham Jr. with the Cleveland Browns. Our 3 News sports analyst Ben Axelrod will be joining us to talk about that. Before we take a look at how Myles Garrett managed to become the star of a family's holiday celebration, even if he is off the field for now. And then just for fun, we will check in with the kid from Akron and we will see what LeBron James is being called out on. Before we take a look at a urgent and very specific casting call with 3 News' Will Ewick, we can find out exactly what they're looking for the Cherry movie. And we'll let you know what Blossom Music Center has lined up for you for the summer. They have a pretty sweet deal for you. All right. First up, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has called this morning for the Judiciary Committee to draft articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump. If you haven't been following this closely, this is all related to a phone call on July 25th that President Donald Trump had with the Ukrainian president, where he is accused of asking the Ukrainian government to investigate his political rival Joe Biden and Joe Biden's son Hunter, and is accused of withholding military aid for Ukraine in their efforts against Russia. President Trump has denied any wrongdoing. So when Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi made that announcement this morning, immediately before it, President Donald Trump had tweeted saying, "If you're going to impeach me, do it now, fast, so we can have a fair trial in the Senate." And then after Pelosi announced that she was calling for the Judiciary Committee to draw up those articles of impeachment, he tweeted this, quote, "The do-nothing radical left Democrats have just announced that they are going to seek to impeach me over nothing. They already gave up on the ridiculous Mueller stuff, so now they have to hang their hats on 2 totally appropriate, parentheses perfect, and parentheses phone calls with the Ukrainian president. This will mean that the beyond important and seldom used act of impeachment will be used routinely to attack future presidents. That is not what our founders had in mind. The good thing is that the Republicans have never been more unified. We will win," end quote. That's what Trump said in response to news that Pelosi has asked the Judiciary Committee to draft articles of impeachment against him. So the next step in this process is those articles will be drafted, and then they will go to a full vote before the House. And if the House votes to pass those articles of impeachment to adopt them, then and only then will President Donald Trump have been impeached before it goes on to the next step. All right, now we're going to bring up 3 News sports analyst Ben Axelrod. We'll be talking with him about the future of Odell Beckham Jr. with the Browns. From some comments that were made today, which we'll hear exactly what was said today from Ben, it was a little bit vague, not really sure. Obviously, people are taking guesses about this now because the Browns season has not gone how we wanted it to go. We were expecting to be in a much better situation at this point, but we are not. And Ben is here to talk about it with us right now. Hi, Ben. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
What's going on with OBJ?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Back when the Browns got off to their 2-6 start, there were some rumors, there was some speculation, there was some reporting that if the Browns continue to struggle, that teams are going to target the Browns and look at Odell Beckham Jr. as somebody that they could trade for, that, the thinking would be that he's unhappy playing on a losing team, that Cleveland might not have been his first choice anyways when he got traded from the Giants earlier this year. And all that talk went away when the Browns won 3 games and everything looked good.
Sure.
And the Browns were cruising and, looked like they might be in the thick of it for a playoff spot through the end of the season. But after the loss to the Steelers on Sunday, and not only the loss, but the nature of the loss and, Odell only having 3 catches for 29 yards. His numbers haven't been what many people expected. It's kind of ramped up that speculation that there have been some, tweets here and there about will OBJ want out in the offseason and some speculation about that. And OBJ talked to reporters at the team headquarters in Berea today, and he was asked about his future and, really gave some vague answers, kind of said, I think we have it pulled up here. He said, no one knows what the future holds. Tomorrow, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. I couldn't tell you whether or not I'm going to be here, whether I don't want to be here. This is where I'm at now, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. God has a plan, and in the offseason, everything will figure itself out. He talked about how much playing next to Jarvis Landry, his close friend and former college teammate, means to him. But, you look at it, and on the one hand, he's saying he doesn't want to be anywhere else, but on the other, he's saying he doesn't know what the future holds. So I think in and of itself, it was a pretty vague response.
That is pretty vague, and this is his 6th year in the league now. You mentioned before that he didn't perform like we anticipated against the Steelers. How is he performing compared to his previous seasons in the NFL?
Yeah, not very good, and I don't know how much of that you pin on Odell. I don't know how much you pin on it on the Browns offense, whether that's Freddie Kitchens, the head coach, or Baker Mayfield, the quarterback. We certainly see flashes. I mean, he's had those spectacular catches, the long passes downfield, but from just a pure numbers production standpoint, he's on pace for roughly 1,000 yards, about 80 catches, which a solid, better numbers than we've seen in Cleveland in recent years. But
right.
On the other hand, as far as Odell's career with the Giants, that would be on the lower end of his production, especially in years where he hasn't dealt with any injuries. He's played in all 12 games. So, that's been one of the overarching storylines for this team is why haven't they been able to get Odell Beckham Jr. more involved? I think he's only had 1 100-yard game or maybe 2 100-yard games. He hasn't had one, I don't think, since they played Seattle back in the beginning of October. So really just as far as, Odell coming to Cleveland, playing with Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, it was supposed to be this dynamite offense. And as far as Odell Beckham Jr.'s end of the bargain, just the numbers haven't been there.
But it's up to the Browns, right? I mean, he signed a contract with us. How many years are left on his contract?
Yeah, he has 4 years left on his contract. He signed an extension with the New York Giants, and that extension actually went into effect this season once he got traded to the Browns. So he's on a 5-year contract. This is year 1 of that 5-year extension. So he has 4 years left where he's under contract with the Browns. The thing, though, about it is, we've seen in recent years, and this wasn't always the case, NFL players are starting to gain the leverage where they can ask for a trade and demand for a trade. We saw Le'Veon Bell with the Pittsburgh Steelers hold out when he was a tagged free agent, a franchise tagged free agent. We saw Antonio Brown demand a trade with the Steelers, get his wish earlier this season. Jalen Ramsey with the Jacksonville Jaguars publicly asked for a trade and got his wish. So, Odell, it's a little bit, it reminds me of LeBron, just he's kind of a universe in and of himself. And if he asks for a trade, that's going to be a big cloud over the franchise. That's going to be us talking every day about this on the stream.
Yes.
It's going to be headlines. It's going to be news vans. It's going to be all that stuff. I don't know if the Browns can really withstand Odell Beckham Jr. asking for a trade. So, he's under contract for 4 more years. But I think with the way, not just the NFL, but the NBA and sports in general, the way the power has shifted toward the players, if Odell Beckham Jr. wants out, I think he could probably get out.
Well, Ben, you are obviously the expert on this, but I will tell you, as a fan, if we lose OBJ, I will be heartbroken. I will.
After just 1 year, it would be wildly disappointing. It would
Right.
be, that was when they traded for him back in March. We're talking about a dynasty. We're talking about dreams of a dynasty and competing in the AFC North. And this year hasn't gone, the way anybody wanted it to from a Browns perspective. But for it to all fall apart like this after 1 year would really be one of the biggest disappointments in recent Cleveland sports history.
It would be a shame. It would be a shame. I was almost going to say it would be a very Browns thing to happen, but that is not the future. It's not.
We'll see.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keeping it on topic with the Browns, I know you all remember what happened between Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph the first time we played the Steelers this season. Well, Myles Garrett, even though he's not on the field, has found a way to become the star of one family's holiday celebration. And he really didn't have anything to do with it, but they took it upon themselves. Steve Schneider tweeted this video, and it's a tree topper of the moment Myles struck Mason Rudolph in the head with his own helmet. This thing actually moves. You're looking at it right now. The arm winds up, and then you see the helmet come down. I gotta tell you, it's pretty savage, and we've got some mixed reviews about it online. Twitter user The Yankee Jedi says, I just find it bizarre how Browns fans are celebrating this the way they are. This play cost them their best defensive player for the season in all hopes of making the playoffs just as their team was starting to live up to the hype. Mind-boggling. But then we have Kyle Housewright who says, this is amazing. Forget what all the haters say. This is funny and awesome job by whoever built it. And Kyle says, by the way, he doesn't have a dog in the fight. He's a Bears fan. So Steve Schneider, the person who created this, actually said that he's not a Browns fan either, but just felt like creating the tree topper. My personal opinion is, either way, how you feel about Myles Garrett, I think this thing is going to end up on Etsy. There's definitely a market for this. So Steve Schneider, if you want to quit your day job, now's the time to sort of get that production going. All right, and just for fun, we're going to check in with the kid from Akron, LeBron James, and what is going on that's getting him called out and also having him calling his own self out. I'll tell you what he's been up to. He's been doing a little bit of traveling, but not the kind that requires you to get on a plane or a bus or in a car. Against the Utah Jazz, he blatantly picked up the basketball and just walked with it, but none of the officials seemed to notice. We actually have a video of that in our story on WKYC.com, and if we can get that tweet pulled up, we will give you a look at that moment where LeBron walks with the ball, and they try to call it out, but nothing happens. There you see it right now. Okay, here it is. He's just walking with it. And the Utah Jazz player tries to call it out, but nobody takes any notice of it. No one pays any attention to it as far as the officiating staff. Now, LeBron himself actually called it out as the worst thing he's ever done in his career. And he said he didn't even realize it till halftime, but, he said he felt sorry for them. So there's that. All right, now we're going to bring in 3 News' Will Ewick. He's going to tell us what's going on with the Russo brothers production Cherry and a very special and very specific casting call that they have going on right now. Now, if you're not aware, the movie Cherry is filming here in Cleveland right now. They've put out several casting calls already. There have been lots of opportunities to be in that film, and now they're looking for something very, very specific. Will talked with the casting director today. He's going to let us know. All right, Will, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so basically, hopefully you're not too attached to your hair, and
I'm a little attached to my hair.
If maybe you're okay with your physique and not too nervous either, because what they need are people to portray an Army boot camp. So they're looking for extras that are in good shape, that have the buzz cut or can get the buzz cut. And then for a few scenes, they need them to be in their boxer shorts. So there is a bonus. It's like $9 an hour, but there is a bonus if you are willing to cut your hair, and another bonus on top of that if you're one of the ones selected to be in your boxer shorts. So
hey, that
you
could
get
add
paid
up
for that. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's an admirable role to be played. So who are they looking for? Is it young people, older people?
It's a real tight window. It's that 17 to like 24, 25. I can't remember the exact cutoff there.
Okay.
But again, this is look. This isn't actual age. You think about a movie.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what people are actually like in person, how old they are, anything like that. It's what they are portraying. So you could be 35 but look, 18, and you may apply to this and you may get selected. So we have all that information on our website. You can get on and you can put in your application, and there's people working the phones right now calling, but they need so many, Stephanie, that it's amazing. They are reaching out to landscaping companies because they know a lot of them are in off season right now.
That's
and
very smart.
A lot of them in good shape. Local gyms, can we put up flyers? Do you know anyone in your gym that would like to come in? Army and Navy and military recruiting offices, somebody that may be able to come in. The only catch there is there's a couple different groups and you need to be available all day on these specific dates because if you don't know, when these movies are shooting, sometimes things go early, sometimes they go late. So your availability needs to be pretty wide on the days that they're going to need you for. They don't know if they're going to need you in the morning or at night. So that's the one catch there. But it could be cool. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, is the star of this. So, you may be able to
rub
be in
some
one
elbows?
of these obstacle courses with Spider-Man. So that could be kind of cool to do.
That would be very cool. Now, they called this urgent. Is this supposed to shoot soon, this particular scene?
Yeah, it starts on Saturday. So,
okay, so that's fast.
That's one of the days they're going to need it. So that's why they have people out canvassing right now in areas in Cleveland. They were stopping at local gyms, in Rocky River. While I was there, I heard them talking about somebody was up there looking, and so they're looking, and they need a lot. That's the thing. It's not like we need 4 of these people. When you think of a scene in a movie that you see as an Army boot camp, there's maybe your star Tom Holland and maybe a couple people next to him, but in the background, it is a scene. Like they want this to look and feel authentic. So they're going to need a lot of people back there running and doing the obstacle courses and in the mess hall, whatever scenes they're shooting, they need people in the background.
So this is really specific, but you told me a little bit earlier that there's actually something else that the same casting director is working on?
Yeah, so there's a very sexy name called Untitled Warner Brothers film.
Oh. I want to see it already.
I know, right? I'm sold. I think I read the book. It's shooting in town right now as well, and they are looking for, I think it was over 100 FBI agent looks or people to portray FBI agents. So this was a little wider net as far as you don't need necessarily the buzz cut. You're not going to be asked to be put in your underwear.
Okay, this is sounding better already.
But at the same time, you need to be that FBI agent. And if you know anything about FBI agents, hopefully
they're right next door. We know a little bit about them.
You don't remember them, right?
Right.
After meeting them, you can't have any of these very identifying attributes or marks, like obviously like a face tattoo or something like that does not work. It needs to be very plain. And I think the FBI, I went to college with a guy that was trying to get the FBI and he couldn't get a tattoo and he couldn't, there's a lot of things that they look for. You're supposed to kind of blend in the crowd because they may need you to do that at some point. So that information will be on our website as well. I'm working on the story right now. But so looking for, again, if you want to be in a movie, I mean, this month they need a lot of people because you add that all up and it's somewhere in the vicinity of 400 or so people that they need in the next next week or so that you're in a big-time Warner Brothers movie or a big-time Russo Brothers movie.
I just think, after living in LA and coming back here to Cleveland, I just think it's so cool that people here in the land get the opportunity to be a part of the silver screen and we'll be able to go to the movie theater and pick out people that we know.
Yeah.
That's always a really fun, cool experience. I'm so glad that we get to have that here in Cleveland. And we will check in with you at 6 p.m. in What Matters Most to see what that casting director had to say.
Okay.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it. Speaking of entertainment and things that you can do here in Northeast Ohio, Blossom Music Center has a pretty sweet deal that you all need to know about. They are offering a $199 lawn pass. Yes, I know you're all thinking this is very reminiscent of the Cedar Point Golden Pass, right? But no, for $199, you can go to every summer concert at Blossom Music Center in 2020. And here is probably the sweetest thing about this deal. The lawn pass ticket is also good for all sold out shows at Blossom. So you're not gonna get hung up on a show that's very popular and gets sold out and not be able to get out there on the lawn, according to what Blossom is saying right now. We'll see how many people end up showing up for these events, right? But the general sale for the lawn pass begins on Wednesday, December 11th at 10 a.m. and it will be available until Tuesday, December 31st at 11:59 p.m. or while supplies last. So they might sell out sooner, but you might have until the end of December. But I would recommend that you probably jump on this early because this is a pretty good deal because lawn seats start at $25, but for some of the bigger acts, it can be a little bit more. I know we talked about Maroon 5 performing at Blossom this summer. That lawn ticket, I looked that up to starts at $66. So if you're into concerts, if you like going to Blossom Music Center, if you like sitting on the lawn, this is a pretty good deal. There will also be a 24-hour pre-sale offered exclusively to T-Mobile customers. So if you're a T-Mobile customer, you can get this on the T-Mobile app on Tuesday, December 10th, starting at 5 a.m. So you're going to get more than 24 hours of a jump on people who are not T-Mobile customers. All right, thank you very much for joining us here on 3 News Now. We appreciate you being a part of our live stream, weighing in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. If you have a comment about any of the stories we talked about today, you can tweet me or message me directly on Instagram at _Stephanie Haney. If you haven't already, make sure you like our Facebook page and also go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/user/WKYCTV. While you're there, click the subscribe button, and while you're on any of our videos, particularly our 3 News Now videos, you can click on the little bell so that you get a notification every single time we go live so that you don't miss any of our afternoon updates. Thanks for joining us. It's Thursday, December 5th, 2019. I'm Stephanie Haney. We'll see you tomorrow, and we will see you tonight on the air on all of our TV shows at 6, 7, and 11, which, by the way, also stream on WKYC.com.